every year we had like an employee, like your review, you know, to see if you were getting a raise or whatever. And then there was a time after that, like you got to say whether or not you felt like everything was explained to you well and so on, but I don't know. And I asked Charity if she knows anything.
I know they're talking about like the next stage.
Josh,
Conversation or anything's been said. They reached out to try to.
I was just thinking.
Yeah. He knows he says later. Yeah. The survey isn't necessary. All the surveyors say it's fine. Those were the only surveys that existed.
Those two surveys, that's what was done wrong. One, the survey was done wrong. He measured from each sidewalk, 17 feet out, and should have measured from the middle of the road.
Right, but that's not always true.
That's her. That's what went through court. They judged him.
A jury in Orange County found that survey over the other one. But if you talk to surveyors that actually know what they're doing, that's not actually a rule. You just, they try to like find where the road fits the class, what makes sense the most. Yeah. There is no rule that says consider the road.
Jason, do you remember what that third thing was? I was gonna ask you.
It doesn't understand.
Yeah?
That's what, I mean,
Trailer,
which thing?
trailer.
Oh, that's what it was, and the sidewalk, okay. I was gonna try really hard to remember when I got here.
Nobody ever thinks a survey, we don't ever want the survey to right, because we always believe we own more than what
Right.
they tell us we do.
There were three different surveys, actually, there were numerous surveys after Gordon's that all relied on Gordon's and picked it up and used it, except for this guy.
Is that it? Just this and that?
So you don't go in there, if everybody surveys something, you get four different surveyors, all behind the same, and they come in and dispute.
Good for you. I hate to take into the minutes, especially on these days.
I tried to call you.
There are no pins.
It's all right.
So, man, look elsewhere.
Oh, diggers.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, that's fine.
I think,
But then you have to measure from the stone
you know,
to certain
we
parts.
talked about that, you guys were gonna go week, but then you never agreed. I do remember that.
Yeah, never mind.
We did.
Yeah, 'cause I brought it up today. It was like a year and a half.
Because I don't remember, I remember you guys using.
Well, they guys gotta know what I usually do.
When you start getting set,
We'll call our meetings order, it's 5:00.
people kind of go with the same stuff.
Motion to approve minutes,
That's probably what happened.
I'll make a motion.
motion by Callie, second,
Second.
all in favor,
Aye.
I don't know.
Comey,
Yes.
we're our meeting, all in, are you good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, we'll start, Jason, we'll go ahead and start with you.
We got a couple things here, I have one that fell through today. But, I guess everybody saw that Michael Hughes has started on the sidewalk in front of the Hill Building. Hope we'll get that poured this week, don't know, weather pending. And, we had our walk through our park, we're almost done, and that's a punch list item, so we're getting really close, like, we just need some signage so we can open it.
The
Fire
trees,
marshal,
the bush stood up straight.
he fixed it the day I told him. The day I gave him some things to do, he fixed it that day.
He did.
Yeah.
So it's, I didn't notice it today when I came by, but it wasn't yesterday. It was still leaning.
No, I saw a little shovel, he straightened it up, unless wind blew it back over.
Okay,
I mean,
we'll check again. Okay.
So what are we waiting on the park? Tell us.
some rules, so we get posted up there, so we don't want to open it.
What is it
And
actually?
Mindy, with
Yeah.
those, did we get those ordered?
Well, I put it in your
It's not gonna close
box.
that either.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to
Right,
discuss
so when
it
it's closed
before
out, so
we
the
order
insurance
it.
transfer.
How many
Yes,
just
yes.
orders? And these are just any temporary
I think
ones?
that, yes, and that's temporary,
Jason, how
we're
many
gonna
do you
work
think
on
we
it.
need?
No.
One on the basketball fence and on the
Fence.
park fence.
Both sides of the park fence,
So 3,
at least, yeah.
Um,
Or you
what,
want to mount them on them boards? and-
we could even put them on the boards for now, but let's get 5, mount them kind of any place,
Yeah.
you know, so
okay,
they don't say they miss them. The only
How long
thing,
will it take to get, do we know how long it
I
will take?
don't know.
Because if it's gonna take more than a week or two, let's just order some quick from
From where?
Amazon.
I told
We couldn't
him,
get,
I
we
told
couldn't
him,
get them personalized like this.
Well, we could just throw something up there. A lot of them said the same thing, except, I don't know what it had. It had like,
honestly,
Similar
I mean,
stuff.
I know this is tacky, but if we wanna get it, I mean, I saw people wanting to go down.
I
there,
saw
they're not-
Memorial Day and
Why
I saw-
don't we laminate this or something and just stick it up until the other ones come in, like something weatherproof?
You guys, they made your point.
oh, go ahead, Dave.
What is the insurance transfer?
It's transferred, I called. Yeah, it transferred the day, they have all.
I just get them, I have to get more of the specifics, like the size of the shelter house.
Yeah, I'll get that tomorrow for you.
Is the contractor signed off on scanning there?
Not yet, no, not 100% no.
That's what she, because it's still under his builder's risk.
Correct.
okay,
So,
well, you really can't.
We
So
do,
what-
we do need something though as well, another sign that lets people know that if they're destructive, they're gonna pay for it. We do have cameras and because West Baden's having all kinds of issues, so we don't wanna have to go through that. So we need something posted saying that anyone destroy anything, they're gonna be prosecuted because, and we can't let that go. And we are saying, Tom, that you all will patrol.
Yep.
And,
Or we could just put
and
those-
we need something saying when the park is closed, no entering, because there's people already going in behind the gate and doing all of that. So when it's closed, no one's supposed to be in there. So the police will know that.
So Jason, what is it gonna take for them to sign off on it? Do you know that?
After everything's been walked off the punch list.
Okay,
And
so they're not quite
We'll
done.
review everything, he'll sign off on it, and,
Did the drain get entered?
yeah.
In the shelter?
2 drains on there they put in.
Good.
So Dave, you're saying we shouldn't open this up until this is done?
I wouldn't open it up until it's been turned over.
Okay, and so how much is left on the punch list, do you know?
I can talk to Mr. Coffey tomorrow.
Okay, let us know. I mean,
He done like 4 or 5 items one day last week that I noticed, and we're still waiting on one trash can. We're going through the manufacturers to replace the one by the basketball court, the lid broken. They're gonna try to replace the whole can. And he's sending out some rain bonds for them also.
What about the restrooms? Did that,
They're kosher.
good?
I feel like that could take a while, do you? With those trash cans?
Oh, well, we can go with that one trash can, no big deal.
Okay,
There's several
yeah.
Trash cans there.
So okay. I just don't wanna wait 2 more weeks for us to meet again.
Exactly.
Jason, do we
that was
have any
already
kind of
done 2
trash
weeks ago.
cans
Well,
anyplace
it
on the
doesn't matter,
trails?
'cause
Should
you
we
said
not
it-
have those
it-
sitting on different
We can't do it
locations
until
with the
they
trails?
sign off.
We can, they just put it in place. We
So
can
it's
move
gonna
it
be
wherever we want.
Probably another
Okay.
couple
Well, I
weeks.
think we need that
Yeah.
because, we wanna make sure people will trash the trails. You know, they're gonna throw their water bottles down. I also think we need to post that I found a thing that said stay in designated trails and also
You got that key,
Right,
drain.
that now we have to worry about with kids because it is part of the
And that
park.
little shelter where the water's running all the time, the little spring house.
And then tell them whatever they take on the trail, they bring off with them, trash, whatever, food, don't throw food down or we'll have raccoons take over the place, you know? So, we just, there's, in our new, in the new, when we get our permanent signs, we'll have all that, but right now, we
Yeah,
just
this
need
one
to
has a
touch.
place all littering receptacles, if
Okay,
they read it.
and they want more than that.
No, nobody's gonna look at that.
What'd you say, Dave?
Are you relying, you talk about not breaking things and stuff, which is easy. I mean, you can go, you can go arrest somebody on that little tree maybe, but for vandalism or whatever. But these other rules, are you gonna adopt ordinance that you
What we
actually
need,
want
we'll have to,
enforce?
we'll have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna be.
If we're gonna enforce it, they're gonna be able to enforce it, we have to.
Yeah.
Jason, when you talk to Mr. Coffey, can you ask him Like as soon as they can sign off, so they can open the park for the kids.
Yeah.
I guess we know what can be done to get them to
So
sign
see,
off.
that's the
Well,
thing.
you
We
know,
can't
so what needs to be done.
have our permit signed with everything.
Was it, I had something too, like, I know the side of the road is the state, but we really need to, I mean, I know Paoli, they take care of where the state runs. We probably really need to mow that or something, and like, cause that looks,
Can't mow it, can you?
It's,
or weed eat, pay someone to
so
weed
last
eat.
year, this was not the contract, I had all my guys on trees, we went and cut all them down, that was something I wanted down to make it look better.
Yeah, but I don't know what everybody else thinks, cause I mean, it looks really junky
Oh,
right
I
now.
know,
And
it
the
does.
state's never gonna, I mean, they'll mow it,
One time a year.
yeah, so we can't have the grass,
We mow, we can with our side mount through there,
do what?
we mow, we can with our side mount. through
Okay,
there.
but I'd say weed eat and then look where the trees have all that vines and stuff, all of them, take those down too. I mean, it just doesn't.
All the big rock there, well, we can't really do, that's on the utility poles.
I'll take
That's
it
on
down.
Duke poles.
Yeah.
You will?
Yeah,
You pull the
I mean,
boards off.
Hey, and I'll give it to both down.
I'll pull it down.
It's just quit knocking, so hammer down.
I'll do it. I don't care. I'll pull it down. I'll do it.
I don't know why that pole didn't get replaced, to say the truth, but it's a main transmission pole, they don't mess with it. Whenever they done South Hancock there.
Well, remember back however many months ago, we have a group text with all of us and Jason, remember? Is that something that maybe after you talk to Chris, you could just send us kind of an update of this is when he thinks it's gonna be done, and then we can start making decisions on the date from
I
there?
mean, I'll go ahead and get a sign ordered.
Right, and if he says, hey, I'll have it done by Friday, and we can't get these signs in by then, why don't we just put these up for now so we can go ahead and open?
Well, and
But we need our permanent signed as soon as possible so we can do an ordinance in place.
Right.
And then
we'll try to
Even-
still do an ordinance. That's the purpose of it.
we can,
Today you gotta publish it and stuff. I wouldn't wait to open on that on an ordinance
Yeah.
that says you charge somebody $50 for spitting on the sidewalk.
okay, so go ahead. No, I don't think we will do that.
Right, but I mean, you can come later, is my point.
Okay,
Okay,
well, so
yeah.
we can go ahead and do our permanent sign, then put the ordinance in
Yeah,
place.
in order to enforce it, you gotta have notice, which is your sign, you gotta have an ordinance, and it's gotta
So
be
if someone
published.
goes down and destroys things, there's nothing we can do but
Well,
say,
you gotta-
"Play."
That's still mandated.
Oh, okay.
State law covers
Okay,
that.
good.
What state law doesn't cover is no pets in the park.
And no
Okay.
camping or
No
something.
camping in the.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
so we can work on that, but I mean, if we're really wanting to get this open,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe-
I think
maybe by the
we need to-
weekend.
If we can do it, we need
I
to
think
get it
better,
open.
Dave was there when I come out and play, as far as snow.
yeah. So you'll text us after you talk to Chris then?
Yep.
Okay,
Tomorrow.
Does
Everybody good with
does
that?
that say anything though about small kids being supervised by parents?
We can add that to the contract.
Yeah, just add, under the age of 12, do you guys think they need to be supervised by a parent? Because they'll send little kids across the street and down there, you know,
Mhm.
Okay.
so,
Under 12,
I think so.
Okay,
And then we'll move on, but I think with our parking lot, we also have, that's a small parking lot, so we're gonna have to say parking only, because people will start parking their cars.
Right, or you
How
can
that
put
works.
no overnight parking or something.
Right, right. Okay, is that it?
No, one more thing, and when we couldn't walk through, Clint said that I need a piece of equipment to maintain these trails. So, like a sub compact tractor, grader blade, so we can manage these trails. Cause our tractor, way too big for it.
So it's to grade it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, cause we're gonna go check some gravel all the time.
so is that something you're just wanting to get bids on?
So, yeah, as well, what are your thoughts? I mean, you heard somebody needs something to.
So our gator can't do that,
There's no attachments for it.
there isn't, because you don't need anything very big, for sure.
Right, like a subcompact tractor, it's a small tractor. With a grader blade on it.
Well, how much does that cost?
Don't know.
$5? $5 million?
No, that's not.
27,000.
Costs $27,000.
Yeah, probably,
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
absolutely.
My ex-father-in-law's.
That's why
Yeah,
I thought
you get
maybe
all-
our
you get all
gator
the
could
stuff.
do a blade and,
You get
there's
a
nothing.
24 horse mid-size Kubota with blades, gonna be about 27.
Can you get an attachment to mow that side of the
Yeah, a
hill?
little bitty
Who's
small
got that? don't you?
That hurts a little bit.
Well, as a matter of fact, you got a creek right there, so how you gonna get in there?
Well, it's part of it. I mean, we have to take care of it, so get the quotes for us.
Or you can just get a little person with a little, little rake.
There, set it on the fire.
Right.
I'd say you're gonna be replacing gravel a lot anyway, it's all gonna wash to the bottom of the hills, so,
That's all I have.
okay.
Thanks for ruining our life, Jason.
Sorry.
John,
Well, we got a department, keep it
You're
up.
right, right.
okay, I'm sorry, just a second. Do we wanna go ahead and let everybody else, let them know before they get another phone call about the drainage on Beechwood? That we're working on it? I mean,
Go back on.
or what is, what's the name of the,
What's his score dude's name? That's you.
Adventures Run.
Midwest
No.
Orange.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can talk about on veterans. Yeah.
Veterans Parkway, okay. So we are working on
Yeah,
that.
I was
You guys
supposed to
aren't
have-
even aware of that.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why I thought you need to fill them in so they know what's going on that.
Dave Watts done some work there a year or so ago, put some drainage in, and where Midwest Storage is, there's a pipe that runs under the road on Veterans Way, comes to a culvert box here, runs down a pipe along Midwest Storage back in the property. It's a low spot, water hangs there all the time, Butch wants it out of there. So we're trying to come up with a way to get that water, not going down that pipe. The gist of it.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to get
Basically reroute.
new bids, is that right, or what?
Yeah, I tried to call him for the meeting, text him for the meeting, nothing.
Who's
He
he?
may turn something in tomorrow, Dave.
Yeah.
Reason, he here it doesn't work on it. This is kind of add on to it,
Yeah, well,
so that's why we had him.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if you hit on that, Jason, then by the next meeting, maybe we can have,
I live in Mill.
Yeah.
okay.
Like I said, we're supposed to have numbers tonight.
Okay.
Okay, John,
Have a couple house demos, a trailer up below where I live. That used to be Frankie Roach's property. That's gone now, thankfully. And Gary Weiner got ahold of me. They started on the house that burned over here on Jefferson, getting that cleaned up finally. Had a couple of inquiries. One was for the Methodist Church downtown, possible restaurant.
That'd be nice.
Asking about
I'd love to see that
zoning,
big stick.
saving a bunch of information, so. And also I've seen some people looking at the Hicks building too while they were down there. And other than that, it's just typical getting people to mow their yards and take that.
I have a question about I'm trying to remember what street it is. So it's a house that we've talked about before.
Okay.
If you go down into Hancock there by the park and turn left to go up that street, and then then another left goes Michigan, right?
Yeah, Washington.
Go up Washington to Michigan.
Okay, that,
That boy.
no, it's not, it's like made out of like a pole barn type.
Oh, it sits on the corner?
Yes.
Yep.
What was the deal with that again? I was just trying to remember. He has so long to,
According to the order, he submitted a plan. He didn't tell us that, he didn't let us know that it was gonna be kind of a pole barn type house, so what, like a kid house, basically. So, the way the plans look that we have, everything met as far as the proper dimensions, the minimum size for the dimensions. Once he got that building there, he had 2 years, I think it the order says a 2-year period,
oh,
to
okay,
add on to the back, which he is currently adding on to the back.
okay,
So he is, at this point, from what I can tell, without actually going into the building, he's in compliance.
okay,
And it's looking like the plans that he gave us, so.
okay,
Yeah, you guys don't require certificate of occupancy to actually use the structure. Most places, you gotta get the certificate of occupancy before they let you move in and like actually use it and consider it complete. You guys don't require those, so you can kind of move in while it's still under construction.
okay. It definitely looked under construction.
Yeah, he's just,
Looks like something.
I don't know what he's up to yet, but I mean, I'm just glad he's put it on the back part of it, so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Jonathan? you have
Just a
anything?
reminder of our meeting Wednesday.
6 o'clock, right?
Yep.
Okay. Tom?
I have nothing for tonight.
Okay. And with Chris, the only thing, I don't know if anyone else, they've had a lot of things going on at sewer plant. Are you aware of that? Yesterday, we had pumps out and I think he had to call Don Quackenbush in yesterday, and who's Chris Perkiser? What's the name? National Water. They've been with them. They were back there today working, just replacing, pumps and working on things, but they were there last night and again today. National Water's back there, so. Okay, Matt?
Nothing to report.
Okay, must be all good.
Well, we have some issues, but I gotta deal with my board first to figure out what we need to do, and then we'll probably address it with you guys.
Sure.
Nothing dramatic, just a little thing.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're down to old business, the input on the survey. Did we want to talk about that? Employees,
Yeah,
did you?
I dropped, no, it's my other former business, and so they didn't have any on where I was at, so I thought it was where I worked, but it wasn't, so.
We talked about, hoping to have something finished by July. I was gonna check with, Charity,
No, I was gonna say the hotel would be a good.
and
place to-
see if they have something, just kind of get some more ideas outside of here, for something that people might use. So if you guys think of somewhere else to ask as well, that might have a good idea, then we can maybe just talk about
Maybe at our next
table it.
meeting, we
Yeah.
can, and hopefully have it by the 1st of July. If
Yeah.
not, we'll have it by the 1st of August.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now we have, the electronic participation resolution,
No, did you guys have any?
additional input.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Well, is that something we have to do tonight? Okay, I haven't looked at it. That's the truth. Yeah,
Yeah.
it got buried in the rest of these
And
papers.
I don't know, did I get that? I might need another copy, Randy.
Or you can
Okay,
have this one.
okay, thank you. Leave it out. All right, well, do we have vouchers that we need or
Did
need
you
to?
guys want to renew that reach alert?
Oh, yes, we have,
We only have, I think, 11 people who signed up in a year.
what is that, Mindy?
It was supposed to send out text messages or, I think, text.
Alerts.
If they signed up, they got a text message if like
Like a web
weather, or was it weather too?
No.
Weather.
No.
Road
Okay.
closings.
If we're notified, then Nancy will send it out, the text out. But if we don't know, then we can't send a message.
Right. Well, do you have an example of things that you've sent out?
The College
We got one
Street,
at the College Street.
College Street was the other day. What was the last one?
she might have done the, pay gov. Did she do that one?
How, do you know
We're gonna
about
get a
how
web
many
tape someday.
a year?
Maybe 6.
I
Maybe
wouldn't think
6 for a
so.
year.
I mean, that's what
That
our
would be a
webpage
road
should cover
closure.
that, right?
Yeah, I
If
would
we're
think so.
informed of the road closure.
Right.
Several times on that form.
I think we need to use our webpage. Why would we? Really? Wouldn't we just use our webpage? I mean, $18,000.
No, that's
This is
for that, that's for,
It's
that's
about
for the,
1,800.
That
Last
drain
year,
is
the first
like
year was
that.
90.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's gotta be done.
yeah.
But guys, if we can use our webpage, why would we? If it's only 11 people?
And 2 of them work for the town.
Oh,
So-
well, we'll let them know, right? You, Mindy, be sure whoever they are. Tell Nancy, what, was it you?
I got one, I get the text, but yeah.
We got one.
Oh,
So, really nobody,
At the time, a lot
I
of
mean-
towns utilize that reach, and it's very successful in some
Right.
towns. But the people need to sign up for it, but unfortunately, people in French Lick don't
Right.
participate. and-
right.
But if we get a webpage, that.
That should cover that.
So, yeah. I don't think we need to renew the membership for REACH.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for that.
I second it.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
Okay, what am I doing?
What was the other thing, Mindy? There was two things, wasn't there?
There's a resolution to transfer the funds from the airport fuel to the airport operating
Yes,
until we get the tax settlement in June.
motion to transfer.
I don't like it.
Abstain.
I didn't like it either.
Do we have a motion?
A motion, we transfer.
Motion, Dave Watts, you're
I'll second.
from airport fuel fund to airport operating fund. Second by Tony Kendall. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You called me Dave Watts.
Yeah, oh, Dave Watts, sorry. Dave Wolford.
That's all right.
Wow, Dave Watts is on my mind. We need him to do work, right? Okay,
And the voucher register.
okay, so we had a motion.
Oh, I don't think so. I'll do it.
Kelly, motion second.
Second.
Her voucher second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. And we don't have anyone here from, I guess let's start with council members. Do you have anything, Kelly?
I do not.
Dave?
I had somebody working on the map and then that kind of fell through, but I got another girl doing it and she says she's got it completed tomorrow, or she was gonna have me look at it, so I was.
That's been going on how long? I mean, we've been 2 years still trying to get a,
I was just trying to use somebody local.
Right,
Nobody
right.
Local, they're
Yeah,
just
that
not.
doesn't work.
That's it at all. It doesn't. So anyways, but she's got it all done, so then I'm gonna take a look at it, and then she said she could print it, which I might just have her print no matter what, and then we can change it if we need to, we can at least put it on the big one. But the other maps are vinyl. I don't know if you noticed that on the little ones, they're like this,
They're all the same material.
what is it?
They're all the same material.
What is that material?
It's like I call it like a plastic of
Yeah.
some sort. I mean,
So I don't,
that's the same one on the Legends, and that material, the sun got it, and that's what baked it.
oh,
You
just,
know, funky looking.
yeah, it's like, anyways, so I'm gonna see what we can do. She said there might be something that she could print it on,
okay.
so.
While I'm thinking about it, sorry, what about the website? Where were we at on that?
Just waiting for
Oh,
the government.
Oh, the dot gov.
Yeah, and the guy finally sent an email back today saying he's working me on to somebody else.
Oh, nice.
Can we go ahead and have Irish
Maybe
just set it up and then
tomorrow.
switch it over later?
Yeah, I guess,
Then-
probably.
I don't know.
Year and a half, and
I'll ask him.
yeah, so you can go ahead and set it so we
Okay.
can check it out then.
All right.
That'd be good, thank you.
Tony?
Yes, keep your fingers crossed out with Jenny today from Region 15. And the awards will be announced June 26th. I thought it was June 1st, but it'll be June 26th. It is a highly competitive grant, but from different people, I think I've been reassured that French Lick has a very, very good chance of getting that.
How many applicants did we have?
Been 44 total. There was 33 and then 11 more signed up.
Good.
And a lot of people did sign up for the survey, and that was very helpful. And the people that came to the meeting, she wrote down different things that they'd said. So when she turned in her information, it was all the Ts were dotted, all the Ts were crossing, but no, I's dotted. So hopefully we'll know something by the 26th.
That's good.
Okay,
We just have to figure out how we're gonna disperse.
Should we form some kind of committee so
we
we
have
can
to
see
get it
that list?
first, don't we?
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Well, let's
when we
get the
it.
grant first, and then we'll form a committee. I mean, we don't even have the grant.
Okay.
Well, I think we need to wait and see how much we get. That's probably gonna depend on what we do,
Oh, it
don't you think?
absolutely will.
Cause I mean, we don't, it's not like if you get it, you automatically get the whole thing, right? Like we'll just find out how much we get on the 26th.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you
What was the
award,
most?
you know, you have to decide, is it 15,000, 20, but I mean, depending on what we get.
Okay.
We can't give 20 or 25 if we only get 100.
Right, I think it's gonna matter how much we
Yeah.
get.
Okay,
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hope for the most.
That's what I hope, yeah.
sure. Okay,
Thank you.
Is that it? Okay, and the only thing, Dave, I called you, no one, I know JD's not here and Tom's not here, but on the fire hydrants.
Tom's here.
Where? Oh, there he is. Okay. Do you want to, he explained to me, that our ordinance, it's basically like we put an ordinance in place with mowing and that we're gonna, I asked him why they had not-
JD called me on that.
he what?
JD called me on that. Bottom line, they just, if there's a document, they just need to give it to us.
I told him, I said they need to produce the documents, but there isn't any, right, Tom?
I have an ordinance, but it doesn't specify French Lick or West Bay. It says municipality, fire use, fire protection.
But he basically told me that
Get-
if we didn't do it, they would cut the water off to French Lake, to the hydrants.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think they can do that, can they?
No, give us a copy of every document that you guys think is applicable, and then we'll go from there.
And you know, ordinances can be amended, of course, like we said, that's not set in
On our
stone for
side,
life.
I mean, because that's our ordinance, so we have to do it.
Yes, that's your ordinance.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was ours.
No.
Oh,
So
Well,
when
that
does this,
doesn't-
when does this have to be decided?
well, we have a meeting with fire, we're gonna sign a new contract soon with fire territory, right, Jonathan? I think that's like Wednesday night, is that right, Mindy? Are we ready to, is our contract, or is that, I thought it was around May, June?
The new fire
Yeah,
contract.
Yeah, I'll
He
look
was
at
supposed
this
to.
up.
and we said all along that we wanted to finalize that about the fire hydrants before that's supposed to be in place before we do another.
Dave was gonna try to get hold of Bellamy.
Yeah, and I did, and he was out of the country, and he said, get with me when he got back, and he hadn't done that, so. Email him again.
Okay.
Well, when is it usually paid? I'm just trying to figure out what kind of timetable you know what I'm
When
saying?
does it what?
You guys pay each month,
Yeah,
Oh,
fire hydrant.
we
The
pay,
hydrant rental, pay
yes,
it each month,
it's 12,000 something a month.
Well, when's the last
120,
time?
130,000 a year.
just like last week.
Okay, so I mean, we're still currently paying it. Okay, okay.
Something I think we need to, and I mean, I'm just saying with this, I'm kind of, because when I talked to JD, we have 3 appointments. We switch years. West Baden will have three appointments 1 year, next year we have 3 appointments, right? Isn't that the way it works? And this year it happens to be 3 appointments for French Lick. So, but I'm not sure, I know Austin's new, so I'm sure he totally doesn't understand any of this or know anything about it, you know? And
He
we,
knows what he's told,
yeah,
right?
that's right.
By the water.
Yes,
Right,
well,
yeah.
because he's new. And then we have Roger Weiniger and we have JD. So we need to, obviously, they voted to tell us that if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be water. Is that right, Tom?
We didn't vote on anything.
Oh,
Because you guys brought it to us, or JD, you guys brought it to JD, they
Right.
brought it to us, so we went ahead and looked into it. So we know where we stand, so we're not caught with our pants down, or we're looking for payment, because that's how they do our rates.
mhm.
So if we're missing out on that 149,000 from you guys each year, we're gonna get it from somewhere.
Mhm.
And more than likely, it's gonna be from the residents, and
But Tom, raises, when you get a raise or you all get raises, the taxpayers pay it. So it's no different, just like us, you know, we'll say we gotta get it from our customer. Sometimes we do, unfortunately. We have to do rate increases and we hate that. We've been working with Umball on doing sewer rate increase. We put it on a 3-year
we're
increase.
just trying to keep from a $100 water bill.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all would like to do that. I pay $100 water bill every month, so
We say minimum.
Yeah,
I wish I could, yeah. I don't know what's
So,
going on.
I mean-
I have some things checked out.
it's whatever you guys wanna do, but I don't recommend it.
This, can you guys give me like the whole thing, because like I've got a front page that doesn't go with the second page, like this.
That's just with the fire hydrant rental.
Yeah, I need the whole ordinance, like the whole document, everything that we're looking at. And then we can look at it and see what the story is. But yeah, like, these is just like 2 pages, like the front page and then some random page out of each one. So just give us the whole document for all these and then we'll look at everything.
So 2 follow-up questions to that. In the meantime, we're still paying it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. The second thing is that obviously the fire territory predated me, so I don't know everything, and obviously you too, Tony. Are you saying that at once upon a time, there was a conversation about this money was going to be part of the budget of the fire territory?
It could have been,
But-
right, Dave? They have to put it into their budget as well. They have a budget, right?
But I don't think it was put in.
It wasn't put in, well,
So,
but I was told it didn't have to be finalized, Dave. We talked about that numerous times, and no one said, once this is done, you can't ever add that, right?
So there are layers to that. So
Okay.
you've got a levy for the fire territory that produces a sum of money.
Right?
That is very hard to fix after you do it the first time, if you don't include everything, okay?
So it has to stay the same every single year with
Well,
their
there's-
budget.
it's just like the town's budget. You can't, you get a minor increase. Need to have, what's her name? You can hop on a Zoom with us.
Page or,
Paige,
Yeah,
I know Aaron's already talked to Paige about,
yeah, but you need Paige working for you. Okay, figure out exactly what we can do, all right? But that's the levy side. Once it comes into the levy, then it's the question is what does the fire territory do with that money? You've got some debt service on a fire engine, some stuff like that, okay? You've got a contract with the fire department. And then you've got whatever, right? So the question is, how do you allocate money within that levy? So even if you can't change the levy, you might be able to change the way it's allocated within,
so they're gonna have to change the way they spend their money.
maybe. I don't know how they spend their money,
if that's the way that we
if that's what
choose
you
to do it or
decide
have
to
to
do.
do it,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean, I wanna make sure I understand, because fire hydrants are out of my wheelhouse, okay?
Right,
Either we're gonna keep paying for it,
Right.
we're gonna somehow try to pass it off to the fire territory,
right.
or we just stop paying it.
Or the water company takes it. See, somebody has to take it, either the water company has to.
But, well, I mean,
absorb
if
it.
we stop paying it, they'll have to figure it out, is that right? I mean, is there any other option besides those 3?
Not that I'm aware of.
And it sounds like of those 3, putting it on the fire territory is harder than it sounds.
No, he said you
Maybe.
could, well, but you could move it around, what you're
Yeah,
paying with
Yeah, the
that.
levy itself might not be
Allocated
something
money.
that you can change at this point.
But if we're talking about, how much is it, Tom?
149 a year.
Okay, so if you call it 150, if you're saying, if we would then in essence have to tell the fire department, you have to figure out how you're gonna find $150 within your budget to move around to pay this,
150,000, yeah.
right? I'm just saying that doesn't sound reasonable to me. I don't know anybody that could do that. So in my mind, that kind of just,
Well, that's hard to say though, because they went, what was their budget before the fire territory?
then what, before the fire territory, it was like 125,000.
For the fire department, right? And then after the fire territory, the levy is how much?
I don't remember right offhand.
Like $1 million?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little over.
So when you're going from
1.3 or
125 to
1.2.
$1 million,
It was 1.3, was that?
man, there's some cost that shift within there, right? Because you got the debt service on the fire truck or whatever. But I don't know if they're spending all that. So, you really, what you need is to get into.
Well,
your
we've asked
financials.
for, we also asked for an itemized,
Mhm, we had that.
do we have it? Well, so then we know what they're spending now.
Yeah, they should be able to.
We should have that probably.
well, I guess that's a conversation we could have with Aaron on Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's look at what you're doing there.
Yeah, the fire department was the one that took it out of the budget in the first place. So.
Because it was in to start with and then got
It
taken
started
out.
with And it got taken out.
So I
Do we know
knew
why?
during negotiation, we had that in there, and that's why I kept saying, but then it got taken out.
Right.
But why? Does anybody know that?
I don't know.
There, okay, maybe that,
I don't recall it ever being in the original
We had that
It was
on.
discussed, but I don't think it was ever actually.
It was discussed that it was gonna be put there.
Well,
I'm
it
sure.
was just that certain people wanted to put it on.
Well, yeah, part of the board members didn't want it there. Of course, some of us felt it should be and others felt
But it
not.
was never in the original budget.
And you're saying, that as we sit here today, we do not have a contract. You can't go back and say, this is what you promised to do, we don't have it.
Let me unpack that a little. So you've got a agreement with West Baden that just talks to levy, okay? Levy and approval of the budget and stuff like that. You have a contract with the fire department that's based on the old document that's been in existence since the, what do we call that?
I think it was 2008.
Pre-Elvis days or something. I can't, we had a term for it, right?
BE, I think you called it.
Before Elvis, right?
Okay.
Before Elvis left. So in the BE period, right, we had a contract going back that far. That's just been kind of renewed every year. It doesn't really capture all the things that should be in a, more robust document, right? So that needs to be redone. But it's, so that, whatever the new contract is, you can allocate this stuff however you and West Baden, and the fire department come to an agreement on it.
Okay, well, and the thing is, it's gonna fall back on somebody. Either the town of French Lick will continue to pay it as they have for all these years, or the fire department somehow will get it, or the water company. And like Tom said, we do know if the water company gets it, more than likely, they're saying it'll be an increase for customers. But, we as board members here tried to keep the sewer bills down so long that we really hurt. It wasn't good. So you have to do increases, and people expect that Duke increases, we all increase, We were kind of slow at doing that, and we do know now that we have to continue doing those increases, or it's just part of it,
But our town's not really hurting on funding, so if we did pay this,
No one's really hurting on funding, if that's the way you want to say it, Tony. The water company's not hurting, the fire department's not hurting.
You can't speak for us, but.
Well, I'm just saying,
The residents is gonna be hurting from it, because who wants to pay $100 minimum bill?
Cause how much is, you guys have to raise, again already, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna, and when,
So,
how's
The
much? is
fire fee will be like $15 on top of what it is now.
that? And then,
We're gonna have another rate increase.
Yeah.
Within a year, it's gonna raise it quite a bit more.
sir,
Is that 100, the money you paid, is that just for the hydrants in French Lick or?
no, just French Lick, West Baden handles theirs. And we have double probably, I don't know how many.
District, then it's both of us, not just what you're talking about.
Well, I don't know that West Baden has an issue because they don't pay, how many do they have?
They have 57 hydrants.
We got 155.
Yeah, so
And
we
every
have three
time that the
times.
water increases, then our,
Yeah, see, when the
That'll be-
water, when they increase their bills, that increases us as well. We keep going up every year higher.
but our town is solvent enough where they could afford to pay that, so that we have water and fire hydrants for the fire department, couldn't they? I mean, our town's not so broke that we can't afford to pay the $120,000.
It's 149.
Okay, but we're not so broke that we can't afford to pay $149,000 to save the taxpayers money on their water bill, but to have adequate water. It's not a funny subject.
What's funny, Tony, is that you keep telling everybody the town's loaded. I don't know where you get, we have lots of responsibilities and you make them think
Marlene,
we
that's
have
not
so
the
much
question.
money,
I'm not
it's-
talking about that. I'm asking, is the town, are we that poor that we can't
we're
afford to
not
pay that?
poor. We didn't by any means say the town's poor. The
Okay, so
town's
we can't
fine
afford to
as
pay
every
this.
place else is.
So,
Yes.
because some towns don't have those kind of funding, Marlene, I understand. But if we have that kind of funding, we should probably go
But
ahead and
that's
pay
just
our
something
bill.
we have to decide as a board. We're gonna discuss this as,
Well, I think that if by the time we get
The
together,
oddity in this is you've got one, governmental, quasi-governmental, public body, right? Levying a property tax, okay, because that's where this money comes from. It comes from property taxes to offset a different governmental's, cost on a utility. And that's usually not the way you do these things. So, I mean, that's the,
see, that's why Dave tells us. That's why we he advises us, that's why we have an attorney, on what's best, what we should be doing.
You can do it however you want, but it is a little wonky.
So what?
Well, but we could,
Either way, we need water for the fire hydrants.
Well,
Firemen.
Yeah,
You
but
can't take
well,
that away from them.
that's kind of a straw man though, because it's not like the water's gonna dry. The question is, where do you pay for it, right? You're either gonna include it in the rate of the utility, or you're gonna include it in the rate of the property taxes. So each one of them has an opportunity cost, right? So if you pay it out of property taxes at the town level, then that's money that does not get replaced. And they can't pay the street,
Like, so
right?
what Dave said
Okay,
is.
because that's the same, that's your same bucket of money.
That would
okay?
be $150,000 that would pay for streets that need paved, that aren't getting paved, because we don't have a street.
Right, so anything you spend, that's not new money that you get. It doesn't go away. You've got one budget, so if you choose to spend it on water, you're not gonna spend it on paving the street or,
Keeping the park.
you know, little tractor for the park or whatever, right? So I mean, it's cost, right? So the question is, do you guys wanna pay that, or do you wanna have it collected as part of the water utility, on that side? And it's all choices, but yeah, I mean, you can shut the whole town down, you can pay all the water. I mean,
Yeah.
in an extreme
And then
example,
people
right?
complain to us, the taxpayers, that we're not doing what we should do, you
Yeah,
know,
maybe we
then
can sell
that's
some of these properties to come up with $120,000 to pay that.
every year, 149 every year,
You know,
would there be enough properties?
how many properties do we own? Can we sell some of those? I just know that the town's not broke, that we have to quibble over money and safety for the fire
Dave just
department.
explained to you, Tony, the whole thing. He just
Well,
explained.
we
No
can
reason.
talk, we can discuss it further on Wednesday
Yes.
with West Baden and with Aaron, Jonathan, you're gonna be there, I'm assuming.
Correct.
And, you know, get their side of it. Tom, are you gonna be able to be there?
We have a board meeting.
Oh, okay. I mean, we can talk about it further there, see where everybody else stands on it.
Because not one of the three, none of us want to have to do it. We all feel that we would like to have that money for something else. Every single one of us feel the same. I'm sure the water company, they know what they want to do with theirs, and the fire department, they know what they want to do with theirs. And we do, we're all in the same boat, basically. So it's just something we'll have to discuss and hopefully come out with a good outcome. It's not going to be good for one.
And if somebody's got something that says the town has to pay it, a different ballgame. But so far, you know, we've asked. for
We've always tried to do that and do that part,
Is there
although we
state
were
law says
never,
we gotta pay
never
this?
had to do it. We just kind of.
If there is, fine, let's look at it, right? But I haven't seen one, I've asked, right? Phillips wrote a letter, which would have been a great time to say, hey, pursuant to Indiana Code session says you guys have to pay this. He didn't say that. Okay, so that kind of all leads me to believe that there really isn't any, you know, requirement that it be paid through property tax money through the town versus just collected as a rate. It's something, the same thing with sewer, right? You can take all the money out of your general fund and you can go buy sewer pumps.
Yeah, don't we?
Sewer bills are low.
Right,
It's great
that's why
for
we
the
have to
hotels,
keep.
great for the hotel, it's great for the water park, right? But then you don't have any money out of those accounts, so it's just kind of like a matter of truth though. Again, you can do it however you want. Okay, I don't care, I don't pay sewer or water bill or anything out there, right? So, but just understand those are your choices.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Do we have any public comments on new business?
I'm wondering about the status on the street on Sheffield Drive.
Oh, Jason just left.
Let me explain something to you. They come up there and flagged it twice. And it's been 6 or 7 weeks. I'm getting ready to mow again. The last time I kind of mowed, zigzagged around and everything. There's 25 in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
there's
okay.
fixing to be 0 again.
Mhm.
Because I'm gonna mow my grass. I'll pull them up again and throw them in the trash. What's the holdup on Hughes getting that street fixed? I mean, they
I
came
was gonna say,
they came up there and they went back in the back.
Mhm.
I live the 3rd street, I live the 3rd house in on Sheffield.
Let's just call Jason. He's on his way. He had to take his son to the airport, so, oh, I'm in the. Let's call
Well,
him,
I mean, it's been I know it's been 7 weeks,
right.
and they've come in there, they've got one part of it,
Okay, let me ask him here, okay?
Yeah, tell him he's.
Time to go speak.
Hello?
Jason, hey, I have you on speaker and I'm calling, there's a gentleman here from Sheffield Drive. What's going on with that project, that road project? He's saying that for 6-7 weeks, the flags have been up there marked and they can't mow their yard. He's mowed around them, pulled them up once, and he's gonna do it again. So,
Yeah. Michael's paver actually burnt up there, so he's getting a new paver, so we're waiting on the paver. And if they want to pull a flag, they can just, they recall the locates in every month.
okay,
So he can pull the flags and mow, then
Okay.
they need locates again, they'll call it back in.
okay, and how long is he thinking this is gonna take?
He's got one coming from South Carolina, I believe that's what he told me late last week. I can kind of find out what his
Okay.
timeline he's thinking.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye. I guess he said pull the flags up. I guess a piece of his equipment caught fire and he had to order another piece. Hughes Paving, So- the paver. So-
so they've only got one.
No, the other one's in South Carolina, so they're shipping it up here.
Well, that street, I mean, they come up and fix that hill coming off of Grapevine Hollow Road. And that, they patched it, in other words. And now, the rest of the road's all busted up. You know, you come out of my driveway going down the back to my garage, and me turning left, I come into town, that's all busted up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm thinking, are
That's-
they ever gonna pave this damn thing or not?
If they're going as quick, we gotta get it done before September. Otherwise, we pay back $1 million, so. From
Yeah.
the state.
No, that's a different project.
Is it?
That's on,
Oh, is
that's
that?
on,
Oh, which, okay, never mind.
that's on
Is that-
Summit.
Rolling Hills.
Is that similar to, the park being finished by the first of the year and them being fined $1,000 a day? And I guess that went away. Did the board ever get any money out of that?
There was no fine in that. We were asking if we could, we can't do that, so.
$1,000 day penalty for if it's not done by December 31st.
I,
But you guys said you wasn't going to enforce that because there was so many change orders on the
You
park.
can't ever prove it.
no,
but-
that's not
but
us, that's redevelopment. So first of all, I can't answer for them,
Yeah,
so.
it was just somewhere in that contract or something.
Okay,
But we're
So,
telling
so the answer is on the street, hopefully by Christmas.
hopefully by September.
Yeah.
Isn't that,
And
probably,
I want to say one more
but way
thing.
before that. I
I wanna
mean,
say
they're
one
bringing
more
a
thing. I
paper.
thought there was 5, I thought we're paying for 5 board members. I've been to 2 meetings in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and there's been 4 members, all there is anymore.
Well,
Somebody's getting a free check.
yeah,
Okay, any public comments? Matt?
Yeah, I need help. John's been helping me with some trash issues and one of my neighbors, but I think he's doing everything he can, but it's not getting any better. We've got blue trash cans that the trash people won't even touch because they're blue 55-gallon drums. And the trash is laid out on Maple Street from the day trash is picked up for the whole week. And I just need help getting that cleaned up.
John, you know who he's talking about? And have we sent letters? We need to,
I think Nikki and Jason sent letters, I've sent letters with the ordinances in them.
so.
Is he littering? Do you have any kind of pieces of mail that you could?
You know
take
what
to
your house
police?
is. Of course
I know, but
Yeah.
if you know it's his trash, and there's trash out there, like you guys, got to me about the litter on the sidewalk, can we not send the policeman or something, say, hey, this is trash, you can't do it?
For one, the blue barrels are not supposed to be used,
So then we need to write a letter and tell them to dispose of the blue barrels.
We did.
we've done that.
Okay, so then now what do we do?
Well, we'll
I
go.
don't know who I'm
pick them
asking.
up then, I
Maybe
guess.
that's
Can
myself.
Can we?
Now what do
pick
we
them
do,
up, Dave,
Tom?
or what?
If you send them a letter.
Under their ordinances, the violations.
So what's the next step?
Can you give him a ticket for littering or something?
We can send them a fine if you guys wanna send them a fine. I don't know what the fine.
Does it attach to their property if they don't pay it?
Yep.
Do they own the property?
Yes.
Well, then that's probably what we
Live
need
in
to
there,
do.
don't own it, but the mom does. She doesn't put their
Well,
fine.
she'll make them do what they need to do, obviously. I mean, I would, or pay, she's not gonna wanna pay a fine.
She'll probably.
I've got drug money.
At the end of the year, she might pay the property taxes with the liens on it. She seems to be able to hang on to that for a while, but I mean, she doesn't seem like she's a very difficult person to get to move. I did send them a yard mowing letter the other day, and they went and mowed their yard, and they waited till the 5th day, but you have 5 days not to steal snow.
It looks better over there, it's just the trash
The
now.
trash, yeah.
I mean, what do we do? John, where can we go with it, honestly?
Well, I mean, do I need a vote?
You got trash ordinance, right, you got unsafe buildings, so if it's under either one, I don't have either in front of me, obviously, I mean,
Yeah.
I kinda know what unsafe buildings is, I can't say that I've read your trash ordinance in many years, so I haven't
Yeah.
read it, but, you gotta be where I look.
Okay.
It is handy for the tourists that walk by, they drop.
Well, sure, nobody
trash right in the
wants,
barrel.
So normally the trash ordinances that I have read over here, I mean, they prescribe the day and you leave it out so long and you can get it and whatever.
Well, was it you and I that talked about this, or maybe Jason and I talked about it? Probably a month ago, right on the corner there at Wells, I saw the trash gentleman picking up just stuff scattered in someone's yard, and you could tell he was frustrated. Must have been Jason. He was pretty frustrated by it. Obviously, they had put it out too soon. Something got in it, tore it up, whatever. He's out there picking it up, had a shovel. It was just like the whole thing. And I was thinking, Jason told me at that point that the ordinance was, is it 12 hours before?
24.
24 hours? Okay.
And that, where Matt's talking about, you can put it out Tuesday, because they pick up on Wednesday.
So the ordinance says you can have it out 24 hours before they pick it up.
I believe it is.
But they're putting it out there as they gather it.
Yeah, they pick it up Wednesday, and they're putting trash back out on Thursday.
And I mean, they could put the blue barrels on their porch, right?
There's some there too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so they
I'm
need
for
lids,
whatever the
obviously
next
there's
thing
no
is.
lids, right? on
No,
what they're-
there's no.
So we need to put an ordinance in place that says you have to have a can with a lid on it.
We do.
I was gonna say, I think there is, right?
Okay, then we need to fine them. If they just disobey anything that the ordinance says, I vote to fine them.
And I don't know what the fine provision, I mean, there'll be a provision on whether you can fine, how much, whether you get a warning, all that's gonna be in your ordinance. And I said, I haven't read it.
So John, you'll let us know.
Can you email that? If you find it, just email it to all of us so we can see what's next. Thank you.
I appreciate it, I just sit out there at night like Clint Eastwood and Gran Torino, just.
Yeah, oh, I
Are
bet,
you doing
yeah.
that?
I don't do that.
That was the best part of that movie.
Okay, any other comments from public? I need a motion to close,
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn. Thank you.
I'll second.
Second.
No,
Meeting adjourned.
Aye.
That's the intention.